All right, guys, I got some gigantic breaking news for you, and it's absolutely horrifying. So as you all know, Trump and Netanyahu basically created a fake ceasefire. And I warned you guys about that from the beginning. Netanyahu was very publicly saying, like, oh, the U.S. told us, like, we can go right back to doing what we were doing before. This is basically a fake ceasefire. We're just virtue signaling like we got a temporary truce. But in reality, we don't. The reason we know it's a fake ceasefire is because during literally phase one of the deal, Israel killed over 100 Palestinians. So it's not much of a ceasefire if you're not ceasing to fire.
Let's lay down some facts to put this horrific war in context. Hamas are ISIS type of jihadis who seek to eliminate Israel from the river to the sea because in Islam, Jews should not rule over Muslims in any land in the Middle East, even in a small land like Israel. This is a power struggle, not a human rights or a liberation struggle. Hamas, although themselves ruthless Islamofascist dictators, use human rights and liberation narratives to convince useful idiots like Kyle here to carry on their propaganda. Radical leftists like Secular Talk are incapable of critical thinking because their logic is advised by radical leftists' dogmatic presuppositions. Okay, here are some of these presuppositions.
The 13 Commandments of the Radical Left.
1.
You shall serve ideas, not people.
2.
You should judge people according to identity, not merit.
3.
You should seek equity, not equality.
4.
The underdog is always right.
5.
Anybody who disagrees with you has evil motives.
6.
You deserve to be fascist to shut down fascists.
7.
If reality contradicts your ideology, reality must be false.
8.
The proletarians have no agency and can only be victims.
9.
Human behavior is exclusively explained by oppressed versus oppressor narratives. Teleology alone explains human behavior.
10.
Behind all social phenomena, there are people in the shadows conspiring. These people are never from your group or allies.
11th.
Do revolution for the sake of revolution. Being a revolutionary is a noble character trait, not a means to an end.
12th.
Make emotional arguments. Aim at the heart, not the mind.
13.
Discredit personalities and you win the argument.
So we all knew it was like this PR bullshit move, and we told you that from the beginning. Well, guess what? Now they decided to put the genocide in overdrive. And last night, they opened the gates of hell on Gaza and effectively bombed them to smithereens. Now, as you all know, this is after a very extensive period of genocide in the first place, a total siege, no food, no fuel.
Radical leftists use loaded terms like genocide because it implies deliberate, racially motivated extermination. This framing suggests that Palestinians are being targeted solely because of their ethnicity, rather than in response to the October 7th terrorist attack and Hamas's continued refusal to release hostages. The use of such loaded terminology inherently portrays Israelis as racist, aligning with the broader Marxist-influenced worldview that reduces human conflict to a simplistic oppressed versus oppressor narrative. This also reflects how radical leftists explain complex geopolitical realities exclusively with teleology, human agency, and conspiracy theories. Radical leftists are intoxicated by their own sense of moral superiority, convinced that opposing the powerful is inherently noble. They unjustifiably assign blame based on Marxist identity politics, vilifying those deemed oppressors, while excusing those labelled as the oppressed, regardless of the facts. These intellectually deficient individuals often betray their own countries, aligning themselves with terrorists and dictators, not out of principle, but simply because of identity-driven allegiance.
Allah yahfadkum ya Ahl al-Yemen. I'd rather be Yemeni than American. In case you didn't know, the US government is murdering Yemeni civilians in Yemen because they're mad that Yemen wants them to stop supplying the weapons that Israel is using to murder Palestinian civilians.
Just 8 days ago, Yemenis and Muslims were mocking the world, saying things like this. Sorry, Israel, business is closed. In this exact tweet, I bookmarked and I said, remember this tweet after a couple of days. I told Daniel. After 8 days, he was again the victim, Daniel, and he was crying again. Fat prostitute for Israel. This is the pig that will end all wars. Here he is watching and enjoying the unprovoked, look these guys, the unprovoked bombing of civilians all the way in Yemen. So after Yemenis started attacking USA, and you are mocking USA of these attacks, you then are the victim again. It's unprovoked again. Okay, guys, look some other things they were saying 8 days ago. When USA finally responded, now they are the victims again for the radical left. This fits perfectly with this commandment. The proletarians have no agency and can only be victims. Look, radical leftists, just because you lost your mind, that doesn't mean Yemen became the new superpower and can bully around USA. Guys, sorry, because it's important to make this clear, to make this exegesis to be clear, because radical lefts are they are not very smart. Okay, look the exegesis. Just because you lost your mind, that doesn't mean Yemen became the new superpower of this world and can bully around USA. Just because you have psychotic denial and a vagina, how you call that? Sorry. That doesn't mean Yemen can bully around USA. This is after the new attack. Look.
Going home. So Ireland.
Brotherly love. But it's not the last time we're going to see each other. This guy is going to be a comedy star of the future.
Oh.
Come.
Go.
Okay, so look, even now they don't learn anything. Look, guys, what they say. They still attack after the new genocide. They say, the best news to watch when you first wake up in the news about targeting of Tel Aviv. Good morning, Tel Aviv. Then he says, Yemeni hypersonic missile. This is what disciplines the Zionists. Did you like the shelter? So he is mocking Israelis for going into hiding. You will not live safely in Tel Aviv. The Yemeni flag flies in front of the White House. I almost pee on myself from laughing so hard. That is when Yemen attacks Tel Aviv. Hello, terrorists, and it shows how they attack Tel Aviv. Hello, terrorists, he comments. Tel Aviv is not safe anymore. Leave. Thank you, Yemen. So, guys, imagine having these sociopaths, these crazy jihadis attacking you. Okay, and every time you respond, then playing the victim. And then having the other sociopaths, the radical leftists, blaming you. every time you hit back. Okay, now, jihadis, listen carefully. There will be no mercy. Okay? You had chance to move back from this project. 1 year now. Okay. Yet you choose to continue attacking. The West will eliminate, will crush you, will crush you completely. Hamas, you are walking dead already. You are dead. Not a single Hamas will be left. Houthis, you are walking dead. Okay, have you seen the movie The Walking Dead? That's what you are.
Fuel, no water, no electricity, being let in there, starving them relentlessly. That happened for at least the past 2 months now. People are malnourished. People are dying from disease. You have just these absolute horror stories of people having legs amputated and arms amputated without any anesthesia because Israel's blocking the anesthesia from getting in there. I mean, you all know how many hospitals have they bombed, how many schools have they bombed, how many UN buildings have they bombed. Shit, how many food aid workers have they bombed? The World Central Kitchen people, they bombed them multiple times. But
Hamas is a death cult. They are not bothered with human life or suffering, Israeli or Palestinian. That's why civilian casualties in Gaza don't have any significant negotiating effect on Hamas. Hamas is using the blood and tears of their people as a tool to advance their jihad. Also, Hamas are irredeemably jihadists. In the recent hostage exchange, Hamas, instead of demonstrating any remorse or goodwill, immediately started their sadistic theatrics with Israeli hostages. They claimed victory and vouched to attack Israel again. They declared 7/10 as a national holiday. Rational people, when accepting these facts I just laid out, realize the only solution to really help Palestinians and Israelis are two. Either a de-radicalization program like the world did to Imperial Japan after World War II, either a plan like what Trump suggested of ethnically cleansing Arabs in Israel, so-called Palestinians, to Arab countries. Both of these plans demand the destruction of Hamas. None of the supposed radical leftist solutions will ever work exactly because their presuppositions are wrong. They don't recognize reality efficiently in order to be able to help people or to solve anything. You saw what Kyle just said. The usual radical leftist bullshit. Genocide, criminals,
And then not only are we going to steal Gaza, as Trump says the U.S. is going to own Gaza, but also they're moving on the West Bank. They have tanks deployed in the West Bank. They also want to annex the West Bank. Right now, as we speak, they're stealing southern Syria up to Damascus. Also, last night, we had bombing not only in Gaza, there was bombing in Lebanon and Syria as well.
Okay, we know that you are a radical leftist. In other words, you suffer from psychotic denial, and you are in fact like a retard at this point. But Lebanon was warned for a year, and they kept attacking Israel for a year. You idiot. Okay, we are not all crazy like you. We have eyes. So, let me calm down. I don't know why I get so excited. Lebanon, I'm really angry right now. I don't know why. Okay, let me calm down. Lebanon was attacking Israel the second day after 7/10. Lebanon decided that's the right time to attack Israel, to help our Palestinian brothers. Israel was warning them a year. Guys, I was working in the summer and I was watching every day. Israel warning them. Stop. You will be hit back. Stop. They were burning the skewer's vegetation in Israel. They were starting fires, burning Israel. They were throwing rockets every day. They forced communities to leave their homes. Still, their homes are empty for a year now. Israel was warning Lebanon. Then, after a year, Israel responded. And you say, Israel attacked Lebanon. Are you mentally retarded? You psychopath. You psychotic denial fool. Then, Syria. Israel was warning Assad, don't let Iran give weapons to Hezbollah and Hamas. They didn't learn. They didn't listen again. So who is to blame for Syria? Why you think you have the right to attack and the other people should stay idle because you learned a new word, genocide? Just because you learned new words, that doesn't mean you can rule the world and people should stay idle because Marx and genocide and two chickens dancing. Now the Houthis the Houthis are unprovoked. Why do the Houthis care what happened for Palestine? And they don't care what's happening for the Muslims elsewhere or other peoples, because they are all one jihad, one ummah. Okay, I just now, guys, couple of minutes ago, I was reading the Hamas statement saying that sorry about that, it's automatic. The Hamas statement, and they were saying, we Hamas are carrying out all the ummah's duty. So they see themselves like a single ummah in a jihad to conquer the Holy Land. This was never about ethnic liberation. This was not a humanitarian at its core. This is the effect of their actions. In this world, everything can happen if certain conditions are met. For example, I personally and all non-psychopath people will never kill a child. Okay, we are not like Hamas or jihadis. We'll never kill a child. Certainly we will not think that it's noble to kill children, like Hamas and the death cult ideology of Islam, that thinks killing whoever for the cause of Allah is good. But if a child is in front of a terrorist with a nuclear bomb, then I might consider killing this child to get through the nuclear bomb. What I'm trying to say is that everything can happen if certain conditions are met. Now, we have two psychopathic groups who are deluded sociopaths, clear cut. We have the jihadis who are deluded sociopaths because of Islam. And we had the radical leftists who are deluded sociopaths because of Marx. So we have two deluded sociopaths that keep meeting these conditions to bring harm to this world. Unless we deal with these sociopaths, you can never solve anything. Okay, these sociopaths bring this type of suffering in this world. Okay, unfortunately, these people, what can you do? When you are dealing with crazy people, what can you do? When you have a crazy sociopath like Kyle Secular Thought, what's his name? I will post this video to your channel, you idiot. Kyle Secular Talk, what is his name? When we have a sociopath like you that dares say that Hezbollah, Iran and the Houthis are the victims and Hamas are the victims, and we should blame everything that is what's happening in Gaza to Israel, when we have sociopaths like you with IQ radicue of the vegetable. Radik is a vegetable in Greece. So when you have IQ radicue of the vegetable and your mind and you have a lobotomy and you can only see the response, the reaction of Israel, and you cannot see the cause, what can we do then? Just lay down, sing kumbaya until the jihadis take over the world. What can we do? Just because you are dumb, that doesn't mean the jihadis should rule the world. The Houthis threatening USA, giving ultimatums to USA. The Houthis with 3 goats giving ultimatums to USA. Guys, I saw something which was in fact funny. The guy who was giving ultimatums to USA, do what you were told or else. Imagine, guys, the goat herders. So he left his goats for 5 minutes. He went to the microphone and he made an ultimatum to USA. Do as you told or else. Okay, so this guy, the Yemeni spokesperson, after he finished his speech threatening USA, then he got up to a bike behind some 2 others. Look, in Greece we call that trikavalo. I used to do that when I was young. Because when I was young we had few bikes. We used to go 3 person in 1 bike. And sometimes my friends were putting me on this direction. And I almost fell every time. And they were scaring me. Imagine what were the games. What were our games? My friends were going with a bike and they were putting me in the opposite direction in the bike as the 3rd person, and I almost fell from the bike. And that was a game, supposedly. Anyway, so what we were doing 16 years old, you are doing now. You are going 3 people in a bike. And you think you can threaten the world. Are you insane? This is things of insane people. So when you lost your mind, what the world should do? When you lost your mind, what the world should do? Okay. Thank you very much, guys.